From Senate Judiciary, Senator John Kennedy. Senator, it's great to have you on. It's good to see you again. Okay, let's talk the border crisis under Biden. You've been speaking from the Senate floor. You're strong on border security, but the Supreme Court just ruled today the Biden White House can remove wire fencing at the border near Eagle Pass. What do you make of this ruling?
Well, I haven't read the opinion, so I can't really comment on it. I will say that securing the border is not, it's not quantum physics. We've done it before. We're in the, and President Biden now says finally that he wants to secure the border. And he says he's working with us on drafting a bill to change the law. I'm not sure we need to change the law. I think President Biden can do it on his own, by executive order, but we're willing to change the law, and he says he wants to, but he keeps fighting us every step of the way. And I believe now more than ever that two things, that President Biden and many of my Democratic colleagues believe in open borders. And number two, I think it's time for the American people to wake up and smell the incompetence. I mean, the border is wide open, and as I've said before, that's man-made, and the man's name is Joe Biden. And if the White House, how can I put this? If the White House were a football team and performed like this, we would have already fired the coach, the athletic director, and the mascot. And it just Americans want better, and it keeps getting worse.
Yeah, the polls show that. The Quinnipiac, Monmouth, Emerson, Pew. Voters want border security. And Senator Marco Rubio tweeted out, how can the Senate deal with the Biden White House on border security when the White House, as you just pointed out, just went all the way to the Supreme Court to stop border security and is fighting it every step of the way?
Yes, and again, Liz, it's not quantum physics. We need to change the definition of asylum. We need to put in a Remain in Mexico program. We need a safe third country policy. We need to finish the wall. And when you fail to convince a judge that you're meritorious of asylum, you need to be immediately deported. That's what we were doing the day before President Biden took office. He threw all of that out. All the president would have to do is just go back the day before he took office and do what we were doing then. And again, the president keeps saying, well, I'm working with the Congress. I want to secure this border. I want to change the law. But he keeps refusing to reach an agreement.
Yes, Senator, how can he say he's working with the Congress when he did nearly 100 executive actions in his first 100 days outside of Congress to weaken border security? He did 5 executive actions the day he was inaugurated. He could just take his pen, couldn't he, and undo his policies and executive actions that weaken the border?
Sure.
But he won't, right?
Sure. He could do all of this by executive order. We don't need to pass a bill. Now, I'm fine with passing a bill. I want to pass a bill. We've been working for 3 months to pass a bill. So far, it's just been a gab fest. I mean, I'm not saying people aren't working hard. There's been a lot of shopping, but I don't see any chips flying, and I don't think we're going to reach an agreement this week, is what I'm told. And President Biden says, oh, I want to get there. I want to get there. Well, what you do is what you believe, and everything else is just cottage cheese. I don't believe he wants to get there.
Okay, so you have an anti-fentanyl trafficking bill. Is it getting taken up because it would make penalties tougher for fentanyl drug trafficking? We had an Angel mom testify last week before the House, and she was saying that Democrats, her daughter, her child died from fentanyl poisoning. She said that, when she was testifying, Democrats were on their phones, not paying attention to her.
Well, this is real simple. This represents 40 grams, I don't know if you can see it, of fentanyl. It'll kill 20,000 people, Liz. Every man, woman, and child in Culpeper, Virginia, nearby. This will get you, if you're a dealer, 5 years minimum. This is 5 grams of meth. You can see how much, it probably won't kill anybody. It's not good for you, but it's probably enough to kill, not enough to kill anybody. This also gets you 5 years. We punish a dealer of meth less severely than we publish a fentanyl dealer. I mean, excuse me, but it's ass backwards. And my law wants to, my bill wants to change that. It'll say instead of 40 grams getting you 5 years, 2 grams.
So what you're saying is that bag that you just held up, a fentanyl drug trafficker would not go to prison if he had that amount in possession, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying this is 40. You got to have this much, which is a lot. It'll kill 20,000 people to get a minimum of 5 years.
Okay, now I understand. Got it. Okay,
you only have to have this much for meth.
Oh,
it makes no sense.
That's astounding. Yeah. It could have killed the entire state of Louisiana with their drug trafficking. I mean, it's more people dying in fentanyl poisoning in the U.S. than World War I or the Vietnam War. And, you know, the thing is, what we're seeing more and more, Senator, police say illegal alien retail theft and drug gangs are behind a string of robberies and crime in cities like Chicago. We're seeing that more and more and more. Do your constituents say that?
Sure. And look, it's coming, the precursor products to make it are coming from China. It's made in Mexico. The political leadership in Mexico, if you took the cartels and turned them upside down and shook them, the politicians in Mexico would fall out of their pocket. They're not doing anything to stop the cartels. So we've got to stop the fentanyl on our own. Number one, we've got to secure the border. And number two, we've got to start punishing dealers.
Yeah, punishing the dealers. So, you know, J.P. Morgan's Jamie Dimon, he's becoming increasingly outspoken. He says if you do not control the border, you're going to destroy our country. Even Democrat Senator John Fetterman says secure the border. It shouldn't be controversial, he says. Let's listen to former President Trump here. Let's get your reaction to this. Watch.
Okay.
On day one, I will terminate every open border policy of crooked Joe Biden and the Biden administration.
He's going to get rid of all of Biden's border policies. What's your reaction, sir?
Well, I hope he does. We did once before. This is not complicated. It is against the law to try to sneak into our country. If you're caught, you ought to be deported. It's against the law to claim asylum and lie. If you're caught, you ought to be deported. If you implement a Remain in Mexico program, a safe third country agreement, and finish the wall, all you have to do is enforce the law. We could have this border secure in 2 months, max. President Biden could do all of that by executive order.
Okay.
But he doesn't want to do it by executive order, so we're trying to pass a bill. And he has obstructed us at every step of the way. The man believes in open borders. I mean, you know, it's just clear.
Got it. Senator Kennedy, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to stay on these stories, okay? It's good to see you.